right, hello traders, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Yaroslav Burchenko, and I'm very happy to see all of you today. You came to the right webinar if you're a new trader looking to get in the flow of things, to see how indicators work. And if you're an experienced trader, then the webinar may give you some new, fresh ideas or a new way to look at the market. Maybe you might find a parameter or a setting to a previous indicator that you may have not thought about using. So without further ado, let's get started. I want to ask you guys if you can hear me and see me very well, and also let me know how you're doing. Where are you guys from? How's your trading coming along? This is a difficult craft to master, and you guys, I'm sure, may need some help along the way. And so that's what I'm here to do for you today. If you guys have any questions, if there's any trading related issues you may have, bring them up with me today, and I will do my best to explain everything to you in a very kind of easy and understandable way. All right, so what are trend indicators and where can you find them? So if we go ahead and turn off, let me go ahead and turn off everything on my graph. That way it'll be clean for you. We're not going to be looking at oscillators today, but I may add another layer so that it may help you guys to kind of get a better reading for a trade. Trades, they have specific parameters that need to be followed, and the more parameters that you have going for you, the more high probability of a trade it will be. So good, I'm actually good, thank you, Many Kandan. Actually, I wanted to share a trade that I've been in for a long time here. I got in right around here after the earnings report. It came down, it came up really high. I was really happy. I put my take profit somewhere up around here, maybe even less. And then we kind of had that huge fall last week when the entire market fell. And I was worried that I was going to get stopped out, whereas up here I was at around plus $4,000. So it was I was kind of hitting myself. And then the next mistake that I made is that I didn't buy more down here. I was so worried about losing the $1,000 that I didn't buy more. And actually, I turned off my PC quite early that day, which was a big mistake. It cost me money. I should have doubled down on the position. It was a good position, but there was no way to tell that the market was going to see. I could have looked at the S&P 500, but if you guys look at the Dow Jones, which hasn't made it past any kind of significant level, I was kind of worried. Caterpillar is in the Dow Jones and the S&P 500. I'm not quite sure if it's in the NASDAQ, but that's kind of the trade I'm in right now. What about you guys? Any trades that you've taken recently that maybe you want me to look at? Any trade that you're in right now? By the way, I do want to remind you that the Stock SPT platform carries you pay no overnight commission, and you can basically hold a good trade indefinitely. So when looking at the list of stocks that you guys can trade, there are some really good ones. And we'll have a separate webinar for this topic right here of which stocks you should really focus on. But lately I've been doing some research on Nvidia, and guys, please don't mind this. Like, again, this is a 3-to-1 stock split, 4-to-1 stock split. So more like a 3-to-1. Yeah, it's a 3-to-1 stock split. But you can have a look at the just finviz.com, having a look at Nvidia. You can see that it just recently broke a strong level. The earnings report was on the 18th of August. So right around here, after the market closed, the stock just shot up. And it's kind of hard to see right here on the Olymp trade platform, but basically that's what that looks like. Here we had the earnings report after the end of the trading session, and then we had a nice rise up there. Yeah, it would help to look at it like this. So once we broke this level here, it would have been a good buying opportunity. Nvidia has a lot of good things going for it. You really should read up on it. Again, we're going to focus on trend indicators. So how do you find trend indicators? I just wanted to get you guys warmed up a little bit, have some human communication back and forth, so you guys know exactly where we're at in terms of the market sentiment and where we're at in terms of which trades I have open. So Sherwin Baptiste, good day, blessings from Trinidad. Hey, welcome. Sure, we'll have a look at gold. Oops. Here we have some gold. So I have the daily graph open, and because we're talking about trend indicators, you just go ahead and click the indicator button, and then all of these guys right here, these are all trend indicators, and some of them are really powerful. Like, have a look at this. I'm just going to click on the Ichimoku cloud, and it gets really crazy. Now, keep in mind, gold is in a really crazy sideways movement for most of this year, but the indicator basically tells us a few things. When we're starting to trend, this is probably the most important and strongest use of trend indicators, is when the trend is starting. When you have a confirmation from, maybe I shouldn't have started with this, but when you have a confirmation of a moving average, that shows you when a trend starts. Now, I use the exponential moving average. It puts more weight to the front, the first 7 periods of the indicator. So we have a 10 exponential moving average showing us, if it's pointed up, that the trend is up, if it's pointed down, that it's down. But this is more of guesswork than actual interpretation of a signal. So we go ahead and put on another exponential moving average. Now I'm going to keep these pretty low so that you can have more signals throughout the day. But basically, when the quicker moving average right here, the 10, crosses over the slower moving average, that is a signal. So if it crosses from top to bottom, that's a sell signal. If it crosses from bottom to top, that's a buy signal. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because you saw my graphs in the start of the webinar. I had a lot of things, but the lot of things were basically a bunch of moving averages and 2 oscillators. And so this is a really strong signal that really matters, that a lot of traders look at. And that's what we want to do. We want to be on the same wave with a lot of other traders, or with traders that have a lot of money. So we're starting to think of how can we make decisions in congruence with others, even if it goes counterintuitive, but say it's a market pattern or a market move that you have seen time and time again. So start to focus your brain on patterns and how price reacts to a given situation. And reactionary trading, in life, you never want to live reactionary, right? You want to build your own path. You want to be, you want to take control of your life. You want to work where you want to work. Whereas in trading, the trader that makes the most amount of money is the one that reacts more appropriately and more quickly to a market change, to a change in the market. And so that is what certain indicators can show us, a change in the market. And that's when we have a cross of the moving averages. Let's have a look at all of the trend indicators that we have. So this is the simple moving average, exponential moving average, weighted moving average. There's actually a help section that can help you to understand what all of them mean and what the mathematics is behind each indicator. So if you are interested in that, you can go ahead and click the help center and either have a look at the guides themselves. There are some trade guides that give you trade strategies, that give you trade signals, or you can learn about the indicators themselves. So right here, the trend indicators button, you go ahead and click that in the help center, and you have a very detailed guide about how to use all of these indicators. So let's go ahead and go on to the parabolic. The parabolic is actually an additional trend indicator that you can use, and excuse me for deleting those, when comparing this to the moving averages, you can actually get another layer of confirmation, and that's what we need, because it's our money that we're putting on the line. We want to look for possibilities that have the highest possibility to go in our favor, if that makes sense. So you're trying to find a trade. It's best, this is a tip for all beginners, it's best to trade less but trade better. Does that make sense? You don't want to be taking 50, 100, 200 trades a day. It can get sometimes really crazy for some scalpers, unless this is your system, unless you know of a proven, really good scalping system and you have an edge. This webinar today, we're going to focus on specifically on trend indicators, so that can be a topic for another webinar. If you guys think that would be a good topic for the future, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. Actually, that is the forum where we get feedback on the video. So if you have any suggestions, or if you have any comments or something you would like to see, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. Not in chat, but in the comments below. So this is another layer, and the parabolic is very easy to use. You see when it goes above price, that's a sell signal. When it goes below price, that's a buy signal. So if we're looking at where we're at right now, looking at gold, everything is screaming buy. So we have first, the parabolic is a leading indicator, which is very important. You guys go ahead and write this down, that it's a leading indicator, which can give you signals ahead of time. So when your main signal comes online, you are already positioned, you already have a trade idea in mind, you have already back tested your stop and take profit levels in the demo account, and you are good to go to open a high probability trade. So the second confirmation we have past the parabolic is the cross of the moving averages from bottom to top. That's a buy signal. And we had this candlestick action that took us down to a level of support and came back up. So this is three really good trade signals that confirm that buying gold right now on the daily time frame. So imagine this is 1 day. So if you're trading FTT, you want to open up a trade for say 6 hours, for 10 hours, for 15 hours. I'm not sure what your trading strategy looks like, but again, if we're trading the daily candle, we need to have a large horizon. And we drop down to the 1 hour time frame in order to figure out how exactly to position the trade and what is going on intraday. So intraday, I don't like what I see. We have we have lower lows and we have lower highs. And this candle is just crazy. It doesn't show me an intent to go higher. So what I said about gold was on the daily graph, dipping down to see what the daily situation is. This is nice. Yeah, this is nice. But then this bearish move, it covers half. It covers half of the previous candle. So you see, if this was a candle going up higher, then this is a bearish candle going down and it covers half. That's a bearish engulfing. And looking at the global scale, we want to position lower. So we want to be looking for sells when we're looking in a picture close up. This is what we have. And if you can see, there's a few trend lines here that we have. And I would add this to trend indicators because this is a trend line. So something very important that you should draw always on your graphs is the trends. I'll draw several trends here so you can see what are the important places that you should pay attention to. So the trend here is small, right? It's not a very steep curve. And then after this fake breakout to the top here, we have an even quicker decline. That is an indication that we can accept more acceleration and we can look for more to the downside. That's basically what that writes out. And you would add some oscillators to the global picture to kind of see what it is. But that's in a nutshell how to use trend lines and how to analyze the trend using trend indicators. Let's go ahead and look at some other ones. I really, by the way, because this is a limited webinar, it's only going to be half an hour. If you guys have a question about a trend indicator, write it in chat. Or if you want a specific one answered, like say you want to look at the alligator or the zigzag, go ahead and ask that in chat and I will have a look at it for you. But in the meantime, I want to share with you guys the Bollinger Bands and a strategy that I use. So notice the parameters that we have for the Bollinger Band. SMA, simple moving average. So we have the simple moving average here. We're going to drop that to 21 is the moving average that we use here, so we're going to move it up to 21. We're going to color it blue, and then the outside will be purple. And then we're going to change this bad boy to red, and he's going to be at 50. So this is 50%, or actually not 50%, this is 50 last candles added up together, divided by 50, and then put larger weight towards the front side. So here we have the 50. So now we have several moving averages on our graph, and the last moving average, or the middle one, is also a Bollinger Bands indicator. Now notice how price moves. It goes from touching the bottom band to the top band, and if it's a really strong trend, if it's really trendy, it's going to touch the middle and then go back up. This is usually an indication if we touch the middle band and then go back up. This is an indication that you want to use a smaller EMA like the 10 EMA as a level to buy. This is actually a situation that we saw in Apple, Nvidia, any kind of really trending asset. You would use this kind of momentum shift to look for an entry trade, because let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. If we have a look at Nvidia, I don't know how well it's going to let me show you, but here we have just a massive change in trend, and we touch the top band and then we only drop down to the 10 EMA. So it happens very quickly, and it's very hard to see or to find it. But if you do see a very trendy asset and it drops down to the 10 EMA, you could try to buy it. As you can see, when it shifts, when it changes, you will still have some time to react, to get out of the trade, maybe with some profit, before it severely goes against you. And the reversal pattern here, guys, have a look. We have a big bullish candle, and then the next candle takes out half of the previous candle. So that's a bearish engulfing, and that is a big turnaround. The reason why it's so important and why I pointed out is because I'm using a daily graph, and this is a lot of information. This is very valuable and very strong information. So after you see this on the daily graph, the next day you can be well positioned for a sell. There we go. So I'm going to read you guys this question. We have about 10 more minutes left. I'm going to have a look at what you guys are asking for and help you out. So many FTT strategies, this is from Ichimoku, many FTT strategies were failing since the beginning of this month. It's been a crazy day trading. Guys, once again, have a look at the, let's go to futures. Have a look at the market. Like, do you see the Dow Jones towards the end, what it's been doing over the last 2 weeks? We had a massive market sell-off over the last 2 weeks, something to correct, something to keep the market flat. And other markets like the Nikkei 225, like the FTSE 100, and all of them, none of them have corrected after that sell-off. Only the S&P 500 and only the NASDAQ are at historical highs. Historical highs. So it's been a crazy, crazy month of trading, believe me. What is your preferred, so Sherwin Baptiste is asking, what is your preferred EMA setting, especially compared to the 25 or 50 for determining the trend? My preferred EMA settings, I don't use the 10 EMA. It's a little bit small for me, and if something is that trending, I'm either already in it or I already missed it. So I use the 21 EMA on my Bollinger. I use the 50 EMA, the 100 EMA, and the 200 EMA. This is actually my setup right here. I actually have two windows open, and this is my setup. It's actually the same account. I just, if I click refresh, all these options will be lost. But this gives me a massive overhead view, and it allows me to see when critical levels are touched. Like whenever we touch the 200 EMA, it's a critical level. It allows me to see massive turns of events, like whenever we have the 21 EMA and the 50 EMA cross over the 100 and 200, massive turn of events. And it allows me to have moving support and resistance levels. So like I showed you in the previous examples, when price touches the 50 or the 100 EMA, in most cases with most assets, it's usually a sign of support. It's usually a sign that we're gonna, bounce up from there. Especially the 50, especially in, decently good stocks. And all of our stocks on the Olymp trade platform are all decently good stocks. And so this is why I use such trade amounts, because these are the levels of like last resistance or last support. So Shahei is asking, good evening, sir. How can you win the trade? I have lost an unexpected amount. Please guide an easy method. Ooh, so VJ, you have gotten into the trap of thinking that trading is super easy. You got into the trap of thinking that it's a game, and you got into the trap of thinking that it's play money. Whenever you use your money to work with financial instruments, you need to understand there's inherent risk involved. A lot of people, and maybe Olymp Trade doesn't do enough on this in showing the risk in your face. Like there should be a big, I don't know, red, what's it called, tableau that says, warning, trading financial instruments, especially like currencies, especially cryptocurrencies, is very risky. It's very risky. It's very difficult to predict it's very difficult to predict the price action, where it's going to go. And there's a lot of tools on our platform that help you to do this. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but here we have Trading Insights right down here. There are full-blown financial articles with forecasts, with initial price, that go into detail about what is going on, what matters, what you should look for, and give you a trade idea. So make sure that you use this tool to kind of bolster your own understanding of the market. Very, very powerful tool. So Born is asking, what is the best time frame and internal frame? So the best time frame is very difficult to say, because if you like FTT and you like action and you like to trade a lot, then a 1 day time frame would be impossible for you, or 1 hour time frame. So to me, I take trading more as of a strategical approach. Like I open a trade and I sit on it for a long time. My recommendation is to use a higher time frame. That's preferred, because that way you have more information. The information that you do have matters more, and you can make a better judged or better informed decision, right? And plus, it gives you more time to prepare. If you're, instead of opening 50 trades a day, you're opening, say, 2 trades a day, and you're reading the rest of the time and comparing, then you will definitely have a better outcome. So that's why I gravitate to the higher specter of the time frame, sphere. So Beta Jeremath is asking, sir, I want to know of fixed time trading indicators, you mean? So fixed time trading indicators, that would be any indicator that gives you a reliable and consistent trade signal. So Ichimoku Cloud. Let's go through the Ichimoku Cloud. That'll be the last kind of indicator that we go through today. It's because it's one of the favorites, and it gives you a lot of information, and it's just one. So we're gonna go ahead and open up the parameters, and the Tenkan San is basically a quick moving average. So yellow, just remember that in your head, that yellow is a fast moving average. Then we have the Kiju San, which is a slower period moving average. Then we have the Chiku Span and Senku Span, which are the like, this is a forward guided, very quick moving average. Like it's the main lines that you want to pay attention to is the Senku Span B and Senku Span, Senku Span B and Senku Span A. So you have the green line and the orange line, and they create a shaded area. These are just simply moving average lines that are moved ahead in the future, and this one is moved back. So whenever price action, maybe Nvidia is not the best one, I want to show you an asset that fluctuates between going up and down. Here we go. So whenever we are trading above the cloud, this is a big bullish sign. So whenever we cross right here from the bottom to top, it's a big sign that we're gonna go up higher. This is the ultimate moving average that is an area. And this is why I like this indicator so much, because whenever you do have levels, like levels of support or resistance, keep in mind that they're areas. It's not one line, it's an entire field that price may drop down, and then you need to start planning your position. This is actually the hard part of trading, is sitting and waiting for that opportune moment, and kind of you're in constant critical thinking mode. You're constantly thinking, if price goes down lower, I'll lose something. If price goes down higher, I may miss my opportunity. So it's that struggle within yourself, and that's why having good indicators that give you solid trade signals is the best way to go. And the Ichimoku Cloud A gives us that indication of trend. Is it up? Is it down? Is it flat? It also gives us levels of support and resistance. So these two moving averages, the 9 and the 26, which is the yellow and the red line, it is, let's actually get rid of this line. You can actually, no you can't. I was under the impression you can get rid of some of the lines, so I would get rid of the light blue line as it holds very little value. But we do have the red and yellow lines which act as levels of support, and when they cross, see how the faster one crosses over the slower moving one? It's kind of an indication beforehand. So it's also a it's not a forward leading indicator like we have the parabolic, but it is something that allows you to see ahead of time and prepare ahead of time. All right, so across would be here, you'd be looking for buying opportunity. Then when we enter into the red cloud, that again, you need to wait. Remember, this is almost a month's worth of trading just in this area, and so much is going on. But the best time to buy would be, guys, pay attention, and this goes for any indicator. Any kind of trading strategy, the best entry would be, so once we're in here, we pay attention to. You and I, as traders, we pay attention. We break out to the top. Oh my goodness, it broke out. Were we in a trade? No, but it broke out and we know something, that there's intention to go higher. And remember, the Ichimoku cloud says that when we're trading above some sort of level, then that is when we want to start buying. And then when we retrace back down to this level, we retrace back down to the cloud, which is an area of support now. And also the 26 moving average, the 26 period moving average here, which is also a line of support. All of that together provides you with a really good buying opportunity right here. Now, where are we at right now? We are above the, for the CAC 40, this is the French stock market index of the top 40 French companies. We have a look at that. We are in an uptrend. We dropped down to the Ichimoku cloud 26 moving average line. We had a massive move up. Some would even call this a bullish engulfing. Remember, we went over that just a little while ago, bullish engulfing candle. So all in all, this is a good buy. And we know that the US stock market is at all-time highs. And we know that the French are they have luxury brands, they have some IT brands, they have some tech companies. So all in all, they're going to follow that same trend, and we're in a bullish uptrend. Like, look, you can't get any more bullish than this. So right now is actually a good time to consider buying the CAC 40. So that's it for today, you guys. I gave you some trading ideas. Actually, let me put my money where my mouth is, as I do like this trade. I will take it down to 2,500 with a multiplier of 50. Actually, that's quite low. Maybe we can do more. $3,000 trade. This is my live account. You guys can see my money right there. Go ahead and open that up. Right away, I want to put on the stop loss. And right away, I want to put on a take profit. Now, guys, listen to this. This is the last elite clue that I'm going to give you on how to trade better. In the indicators window, this isn't per se a trend indicator, but it does allow us to read when the trend will end. So see how I have my stop loss just somewhere out in there? These are Fibonacci levels, and this is a Fibonacci retracement. So judging by the wave length, size and length of the last wave, I can judge where we could possibly take this higher. Now, a very conservative level of take profit would be at 38.2% of the Fibonacci scale. A very optimistic one would be 61.8%. Now, if you're looking for, incredible gains, so 100% gains, then you would be looking at the level 2 or level 2 and higher. Somewhere around here would be a very, very optimistic price forecast. So right now, I'm just going to keep it a little bit below the 38.2 level. Again, I'm not a greedy person, and if price doesn't reach all the way, I want to make sure that I'm already in profit mode. So there you go, you guys. I'm looking at your questions, see if there's something that I can quickly answer. Do you ever use Heikin-Ashi candles to help with your trend trading? Heikin-Ashi candles is actually a strategy in and of itself. I use candlesticks, just regular Japanese candles, because they give me the open, close, and how big the volatility was during the trading session. Heikin-Ashi covers some of that information in order to give you an impression. So it's very valuable to those that want to spend a little bit of time looking at the graphs, a little bit of time reading, but all in all, kind of condense the time that they spend looking at trading. Whereas myself, I'd like to weigh other factors, and my time is not limited to how much I have with the platform. So I do recommend using the Heikin Ashi as a strategy in and of itself, because the backtesting that I've seen my colleagues do, and I've seen Angie do this, and I've seen Alexei use the strategy before, I've seen that it had phenomenal results, like 80% results from what I've seen. Again, it wasn't more than maybe 50 trades or 25 trades that I personally witnessed, so it wasn't like a large statistic that I had a chance to analyze. But this is definitely some backtesting you can and should do, and that's what you should do with all indicators. Why do I have the indicators that I have on my platform? Well, because I have backtested them myself, and they have shown me a very high probability. And the ones that I went through with you guys today, they also have very high probability. Like personally, I don't use the Gator right here. I don't use the Gator. I don't use detrended price. It's a little bit out there for me. I understand the theory behind it. I just don't see how it would help me. And plus I have two other oscillators that I have down there. So this is what it is to work with indicators. You combine with the tools that you have back tested to tools that you may be lacking, some additional information that you may need. And I invite you to my webinar tomorrow, guys. I have a webinar tomorrow where we're going to cover more about stock trading. We're going to cover the how to make a portfolio. No, excuse me. We're going to cover which platform is better. So we talked a little bit about today about SPT. There's a lot of you that asked yesterday, or excuse me, that asked today about how to trade FTT, what some good reliable signals are, what some good reliable strategies are, and that's what we're going to cover tomorrow. So everybody that I missed maybe your question, or you may think of something to ask later today, make sure to come to the webinar tomorrow. Remember, we only stream twice a week. It's going to be Wednesday and Thursday, and tomorrow I'm going to go through the different platforms, what the pluses and minuses are, how to use each one, give you my own personal tips and tricks that I have learned over the years using these platforms, and help you in general just to make some money from trading. So make sure to visit that. That's it for today, you guys. Please go ahead and leave the video a thumbs up. It helps to circulate the video to other traders that may be struggling. Also, it will, come back to you in the form of good karma. So make sure to subscribe to the channel so that you guys can get some sort of notification about your about the upcoming videos. And keep in mind that we have a lot of social media that is also there to support you. You guys saw our Instagram page, you guys saw our Facebook page, and the YouTube, of course, is Olymp Trade Global. All right. If you want to see more, make sure to check out our different playlists. They have a wide variety of information, starting from indicators, going all the way to psychological strategy, because this is a big part of trading, how you feel throughout the day. You may not think about your emotional capital, but it is definitely something that gets spent and that you should protect throughout the day. My name is Yaroslav Burchenko. Again, thank you guys all so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed the webinar. You learned something new. I will love to see you guys tomorrow, and we'll continue this discussion and talk about the different platforms tomorrow. All right, thank you all so much for coming. I wish you guys good luck trading out there, and see you all next time. Peace.